You have installed DaVinci Resolve in your system, and if you have had any challenges during the installation, please just send a message in the Telegram channel where I uploaded the video on how to install, and you'll be able to be assisted right away without delay, because on Telegram at most times available. Okay, so leave a message there and I'll come back to you, but I hope you have gone through well, because the video was quite clear, and there are also some instructions on how you can do that. Now, let's actually open DaVinci Resolve and see what we can do right now. I right click and I run as administrator. So what we want to do today, we just want to have a grand tour of what DaVinci Resolve may look like. But you have to just wait, and it will definitely open faster. Now, my DaVinci Resolve is opened right now. And when it opens, the first window will appear like this. But usually, for the very first time, because you have not had any projects that you have been doing in DaVinci Resolve, you will see only this one, untitled project. This one, all these ones, all these things, you won't find them, because they are just the things that are some of the projects that I have been doing that are actually appearing on this one, and I don't want to remove them, because I don't have enough time to come back and re-import my projects now and again. Yours, you are only going to have this one, untitled project. So let's actually, before we go inside, let's talk about what we have over here. And you can see that with this one, you can pen up this one and make it bigger or smaller. Okay, and over here, if you hover over here, you can see that it will be actually asking you to create your own method of sorting by. For example, if I click here, I can say sort by name, sort by date modified, set by timeline, set by format, and so forth. But for now, I have just set it by date modified, so that the previous project that I previously worked on will be the one that will come first. And over here, if you hover over here, you see that it will be actually saying information. So it will be telling you, if you click over here, it will be telling you about the date modified, and also the name of the project, and the timeline. If it is 9020 by 1080, we are going to talk more about all those things, but this is what it is. Yeah, I may have forgotten something during the installation, but what you do is, I hope that you have set your timeline resolution to be just HD 9020 by 1080, not UHD, because UHD is Ultra HD, which is a 2K resolution, of which it will be actually something higher and can be problematic depending on the machine that you are using. But when you are using DaVinci Resolve, all that you need to do is to work with the speed, and you have to make sure that you look forward to make sure that everything that you are doing is compatible with your computer. Make sure that you are always working in something like 9020 by 1080 to avoid a crisis over there, because DaVinci Resolve is a big system. However, even though 17 is a little bit lighter, to my own experience, since I have started using it, I have discovered that DaVinci Resolve 17.3 especially is now very light. And over here is just a view. How do you want to view things that display over here? So if you want it to be just in form of list like this, you do that. If you want it to be in grid like this, you make it to be like in grid. And down here, you are able to create a new folder where you install, you put certain media, and over here you can create a new project. Over here, you can just highlight on a project and click open, and you open it. Here you are able to search. Say for instance, you go to lots and loads of projects down here. You are no longer, the list will be going down. You don't want to scroll down. You are able to simply search over here. For example, I can say infinite. Okay, and it will come out. From there, we come to this one. there is something hidden over here, but if you click over here, you are able to go database, the DaVinci database. So if you click over here, this is where you are going to see what we call a DaVinci database. What is a DaVinci database? Whatever project that you are doing or that you are creating in DaVinci Resolve, they are stored in DaVinci Resolve database. What is DaVinci Resolve database? The database is somewhere where your files or your projects are stored by default. So you can choose where you want to store your projects by creating a new database down here. But for now, let me show you where the database is. It is located and hidden very far away from where you can think or imagine. If you want to see as a shortcut to go faster, you can just right click and say open file location. Once you say open file location, you find that it is right in your C drive under this path, which is to say C drive username over here. This is my username, and app data, roaming, Blackmagic design, DaVinci Resolve support, Resolve disk database. So it is buried deep in your system. Let's maneuver and I will show you where it is. We said user, from user we come to username, and from that we come to app data, from app data we come to roaming, and from roaming we come to DaVinci Resolve, and from DaVinci Resolve we continue under DaVinci Resolve, and from DaVinci Resolve we come to support, and from support we come here to Resolve disk and Resolve project. You see, this is where the projects that you are creating are stored as a in the databases right here under all these things, projects you see over here. All these projects that are over here on the text or on this opening tab are buried right here. And if I'm to highlight over here, you can see that the path is very deep. And in many cases, if you think that the projects that you are doing, you want to preserve them for a long time, and maybe if you happen to change your operating system, you may lose them because you delete the old operating system away. You need to change the location of your database. But for me, most of the things that I'm doing, I easily actually remove them, and some of the things that I'm doing that are crucial, I also make a backup of them in another hard drive. Like I export as a project in other hard drives that I have. So I don't worry about actually changing my database. But let me just show you right away how to change your database if you want to. So you just come over here and say create new database, and you give it a new name. A name, I can just say new database. You say new database, but when you are naming your database, you should put some underscore. So I can say new underscore data database. Okay, and I can say browse location. I can say I want to put it in another location, which could be just a D drive. However, I don't encourage you to put your database in such places if you know that your hard drive is not something that is fast like the SSD hard drive and is not big enough, because the database is capable of compiling or is capable of storing a lot of data or information which can easily use or take up a lot of space. So if your SSD or if your hard drive is less than 500 gig, it's relatively small. Or maybe if your hard drive is slow, you are going to have problems exporting. So you would rather choose to come to C drive and put out there. Or you can say maybe choose in the inbuilt directory of your system, like in the music directory or in the video directory. I can say over here, I can say resolve new database, but for now, I think my directory that doesn't have a lot of things is this one, the music. So I can say I want that database to be put over here. So after I have done that, I can say create a new database. And once that is done, we should see a new database over there. Okay, it is still creating. Now the new database has been created, and if I right click and say open file location, you will see that the path where this database is simply very short. It's user C, user Kingdom Studios Evo Music Resolve database, which is to say is right here. And if I come over here, you can see that we have the new database over here, and we'll be able to back up our things through this database. All right, so this is how you create a new database if you want to make sure that the things that you are creating, they don't get buried deep where they are, as I have shown you previously. And over here, I can come here and show you something else. These are the backups. So these are your drives. These are your drives. If you hover over here, you can see that these are the areas whereby you actually can back up your things. So for now, I just want to highlight on the database that I don't want the database that I have created right now. So if you create a new database, you see that if the database is empty, you won't see anything over here, but the only untitled project, because it means that your data, you haven't actually created projects in that particular database. But if I come here on the database, the local database, which I have been using, you find out that a lot of projects are there which I have been doing. Okay, and from there you can also look for things like backup. If you click over here, you can click over here, you see where this path is going. You can actually, this is where your backup can actually come into. And over here, if you hover over here, it is restore. You can choose to restore a particular database. And say, for instance, I have changed the operating system and I want to restore a particular database. I have actually taken it out and put it somewhere, or I have named this database, and when I removed or uninstalled DaVinci Resolve and reinstall again, I need to restore the database. You just come over here, you restore the database, you go where the database is located, you click it, you just say open, and it will be able to restore the database for you. And from there, you can also connect to a database. Like if you click over here, you can look for where the database is and actually connect it. You browse the location of the database and you connect the database back to the system. Okay, if you don't understand this, actually comment in the section so that I may actually put a full demonstration. But I'm doing this because I'm thinking that with the explanation that I have made previously, you are getting the real point of what I'm really implying. Thank you. Now, if you come over here, you can also sort the database by the way you want, maybe by ascending order, or maybe by descending order, or maybe by location, status, or by name. And right now I'm just naming them by, actually I'm just arranging them by database name and the ascending order, which is to say the first one to be created comes first and the second one to be created comes second. And this is what it simply means. If you want to see database information, you just click over here on this one icon and you are able to see the database information. If you've got a lot of databases, you can also still come over here and search the database name and you are able to find your database right away. So now, otherwise, you are also seeing this one, which is written Progress SQL. Progress SQL is a database that DaVinci Resolve is using. So if you are a web developer, or if you have once done some programming, you may understand a language called SQL, which is used to create databases. It's one of the languages that is used to create databases. So basically, it simply means that DaVinci Resolve created their database using Progress SQL. Using SQL programming language, or they use that as a database for storing information, both online and offline. Because with these DaVinci databases, you can also use it online, so that you do what you call collaborations and remote quality. We are still going to talk about that. For now, let's leave it there. So now, once you have done like that, for demonstration purposes, let me just click on the new database that I have created, so that I'll be able to start with you from scratch. So right now, if you are here, we are introduced to this tab whereby we are seeing something like this. So as we are having something like this, we want to create a new project, and for now we just want to open this untitled project. But what if we just demonstrate how you can create a new project? Let's go ahead and do that. So if you come over here, you click over here, new, and you can name your project. For example, I just want to say DaVinci. I just want to say DaVinci tutorials, and I just say create. And once I do that, boom, this is what comes out. So we just want to go through fast and explain what is happening, and in the next video we are going to do what we call DaVinci Resolve project settings, so that you understand what you have to do before you import any media, or before you import any video clips or files in DaVinci Resolve. So make sure you don't skip that next video coming up, because if you miss it, you will be having challenges when editing in DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve has got all these things that appear in your files. DaVinci Resolve opens like this, and this is what you begin to see. And over here you can see that it is written media. Over here it's written cut. Over here edit, fusion, color, fairlight, deliver. So we just want to have a summary of what is happening in each of every tab. DaVinci Resolve is made actually kind of magically in such a way that when you look at it, you find out that you import media in this tab, but the media that you import in this tab, once you put it in the timeline, in the cut page, it automatically links throughout over here, all the tabs until you go to the deliver page. It's such an amazing software that was crafted in an amazing way. Like the way they did it, it's definitely something amazing. So now, this is where you import your media over here under media files. So over here you find out that DaVinci Resolve is already linked to your system. Maybe you have installed video clips in a certain hard drive, and you want to go right there to see, to take actually those videos. You can simply, for example, I want to come to D over here, and once I come to D over here, you'll see that the D drive is already appearing over here, and this one makes it easy for you to be able to take out your video clips. So I just want to come here under Infinite Health, and I just want to open, I think this one has got video clips. No video clips here. I just want to take to 3. Yeah, let me take to 3, and I just want to take this one, and it is not yet imported right now, but it is already showing in my hard drive. So if I double click it, I'm able to play it, you see. So this is how DaVinci can easily do things, and it does things seamlessly and easily, like you can easily work around your things. So this is the media pool. This is where you are able to take your media files into the software. Okay, all these videos, you can see them right away in the software, and I can drag and drop over here. And once I drag and drop over here, it is asking you something like the selected clip or the selected clips have a different frame rate to the project. Would you like, listen to this carefully, would you like to change your timeline frame rate to match? you can't undo this action. When we choose, after the installation of DaVinci Resolve, we chose DaVinci Resolve to operate at HD, which is high definition, 1920 by 1080, not Ultra HD, not 4K. All right. So we don't want to change our time resolution and our frame rate, because these clips, they could have been shot at a higher resolution and will cause some problems when we are beginning to do some playback and editing in DaVinci Resolve, because the quality is too high, and maybe our system is small and will be having some problems. So we want to maintain the HD, which is the 1920 by 1080. So you need to come over here and click don't change. So once we click don't change, now we have imported the media file. Once we have imported the media file, we come to cut page. Once we come to the cut page, we can easily drag this one into the timeline. Yeah, I drag into the timeline, and this is the timeline right now. And this is the cut page, only dedicated for cutting. So in other words, this page is dedicated for importing media into DaVinci, but this page is dedicated to cutting media and files inside DaVinci. Then over here, if you come over here, this one is dedicated for just editing, putting visual effects, not putting visual effects as such, putting certain effects and the things like text and the other things. You can see we have got all these tools over here, editing of sound, if you have got sound, and you can also talk about it over here. Is just for you to do the cutting faster, but this one is for editing. There are some differences in tools which you are going to see as we are going to explore this software. Over here is what we call Fusion. It's now a different story altogether. We have got this thing called media out and media in. What is this? This is a place for compositing media, for compositing your clips, putting all those visual and fancy effects that you may need to do in DaVinci Resolve right now. And you can also come over here. This is where you can play with the colors, and you can see there is a lot that may be seeming intimidating over here, but we are going to talk about it, and we are going to actually make things understandable. And over here you can change the colors, you can do a lot of things with DaVinci Resolve. There is a whole lot of things that you can do. And over here is Fairlight, where you'll be actually dealing with sound. This video clip doesn't have sound, and that is why we don't have a soundtrack over here coming in. Don't worry, but just know that this is where you'll be able to edit sound, and you can even import what we call plug-ins and that are third-party softwares which you can install inside DaVinci Resolve. For example, I have got one plug-in with me that I have, which is called Aki Sonas, which I use for noise reduction, but I'm going to show you a little bit later. But if you come over here, you can see noise reduction VST plugin. You can see I have all these things like voice remover, what, and so forth. Then this one is the DaVinci Deliver page, where you can export your videos. After editing your videos, you can come over here and export them in YouTube format, Vimeo, custom 1920 by 1080. 264 is the regular format that we normally use to export MP4 videos, Final Cut, and many formats that you can use. Adobe Premiere, if you are doing what we call Adobe Dynamic, when you are doing what we call DaVinci Resolve round trip from Adobe Premiere to DaVinci Resolve and back to Adobe Premiere, Final Avid Pro softwares like Pro Tools. It can also work with those softwares which are also used for video editing and video production. And there is a whole lot to talk about over here, but we want to actually delete all these files before we proceed, because we haven't done what we call project settings, which is very crucial when you are working with DaVinci Resolve, so that you make sure your system is able to cope very well with DaVinci or with the software. So right now, for now, that's all we can say. Let's leave it right there, and until in the next video where we are going to show you what you can do with DaVinci Resolve project settings to make sure that your system works very well. Thank you for watching, and consider sharing for other people to benefit. Hit like and subscribe so that we hack the YouTube algorithm, and together we'll be able to actually flourish and benefit from this. Thank you very much.